Welcome back to another episode of In the Slot. I'm your host, Jacob Fraser, with my co-host, Keanen Tregaskis. And before we get into everything, how's it going, Keanen?
Pretty good. It's been pretty good.
Awesome. Well, we've got less NHL news today, more international hockey, but of course we'll still touch on some NHL stuff. But we'll kick things off with our weekly updates. Then we'll head into Team of the Week, and then we'll talk some Olympic and World Junior rosters after that. So let's start things off with the weekly updates. Number one, it's some Olympic hockey talk, but the Olympic arena set to finish just 2 days before the games start. We posted something on our social, I think last week, talking about our concern with the state of the Olympic arena and everything. I feel way less confident after hearing this news, and I already was
I'm more concerned.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's insane.
Yeah. You can't make a mistake now. There's no wiggle room at all. You can't go, oh, well, someone messed up. There's a delay. Because now you don't have Olympic hockey if you do that. It's surprising that I know hockey's not big in Italy, but when you're hosting when you're hosting any major event, like, you gotta have the facilities ready with time to spare in case something goes wrong or you need to improve something or it's not up to standard, whatever. This was a complete mismanagement by Italy, whoever is running that within Italy.
Well, you're right. Like, maybe hockey's not as important to them, but you'd think the Olympic Committee, like, I don't know if this is true, but in my mind, I see the Olympic hockey as the biggest sport at the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, because it's an event. It goes on for a while. There's group stages, then there's the knockout rounds, like soccer at the Summer Olympic.
Yeah, exactly. Or basketball. Like, it's one of the only sports where we have these professional athletes playing from all over the world in a professional league, making millions of dollars. Like, obviously, some of these other sports, there's athletes making money and playing professionally, but not to the same scale, I think, as hockey, right? And so I think it's crazy that it's only going to be 2 days before. And yeah, I am feeling not very confident in whoever's building this arena to actually be able to get it done.
Those damn Italians. Yeah, no, you'd think this would be a much higher priority, even for a less hockey prominent country like Italy, to have the facilities ready, because it's the NHL players. It's not just athletes. It's the premier athletes at their respective sports.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, you're getting, people are going to be traveling to Milan for Olympic hockey specifically. Like, a lot of Canadians are going to be going, a lot of Americans are going to be going to watch
Swedes.
hockey. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just, this is such a blunder.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway, we can shift over to some NHL talk here. The Montreal Canadiens calling up their goaltending prospect Jacob Fowler to play for them. I mean, he's only 20 years old. It's 21. Yeah, 21. He's young. He does have good numbers in the AHL this season. I will give him that. 209 goals against average and almost a 920 save percentage. But I mean, you look at how good Montembeault was last year. Like, he made the Four Nations team, and you thought maybe Montreal had found something with their goaltending. And then this year, they've just really seemed to struggle with that.
Yeah, right out of the gate, Montembeault was bad, too. Like, it wasn't like, oh, it's just a bad stretch, let's call Fowler up to give him a little more rest. Montembeault struggled out of the gate, just consistently. His save percentage on the year is .857. He's making Skinner look serviceable. And then the first month, it was fine, because Dobesh was playing out of his mind, winning them games, and now him being a not as high-profile goaltender as Montembeault the past couple of years, and not as highly regarded as Fowler, has started to slide to sub-800 performances in back-to-back games. The goaltending is costing them games here. But at the same time, the offense is started to slow down with all the injuries. But if you look at their last four losses, and this is within the 6 games they're in a 2-4 stretch, 7 goals, 5 goals, 4 goals, 6 goals allowed. That's where the problem is.
Yeah, and one thing that I find interesting just with the Canadians is their home versus away record. You look at that; they're 7-8-1 at home and 8-3-2 on the road this season.
Weird.
You talk about like great buildings and great atmospheres to play in front of. The Bell Center is maybe at the top of the list, at least top
It's
three.
top 10 when the team's awful.
Exactly.
Like they're passionate over there. You'd think that would be enough motivation, enough fire behind them to propel them into a better home record, not
Yeah.
getting killed.
Well, and maybe it's the fact that these visiting teams get up, especially for those Bell Center games, because they're more fun to be the villain in that building. But still, like we saw in the playoffs, like when they were playing the Leafs, that
Yeah,
was an electric
Leafs.
building.
They played the Capitals last year.
Oh, I'm thinking Sens. My bad.
Yeah.
The Caps.
But yeah, like you said last year, when they were the last wild card team, not expected to do much. The building was buzzing. They stole a game from Washington, and were in. Well, they were close in the other ones, and that was with the Montembeault Dobich tandem. They both started games because of Montembeault's injury.
Mm-hmm.
High stress, high performance games, and they played well. And it's fallen apart under a stronger, better defensive core. You got another year of Lane Hudson. You brought in Noah Dobson, and the goaltending's gotten worse. It's weird.
Yeah, it is. It is very strange, and we've talked about them having a bit of an injury bug to deal with this year too. But that's the case for every team in the league. Like, there's not a team that has remained 100% intact for this entire season. Now, obviously, some teams have been healthier than others, but every team's been dealing with these injuries. And you look at the Eastern Conference; it's so wide open. I really figured that this was Montreal's year to take another really big step and maybe become a potential Stanley Cup contender, if not at least go on a second round playoff run this year, like a little bit better than last. But yeah, it doesn't seem like it's working out there in Montreal right now.
Yeah, season's still young. They
Mm-hmm.
got a very young team that can definitely adapt on the fly, and maybe Jacob Fowler's ready. I'm not entirely convinced just because of how long it takes for goaltenders to develop at the NHL level, but almost through his first period, 4 shots allowed, 4 saves. It's against Pittsburgh. It's a good start, but you need to see a couple games before you can truly judge any goaltender.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, maybe it is the spark that they need. Maybe it's the spark that gets their defense going. Hey, we want to play really well in front of our young goaltender. And so maybe it's a spark that they need. We talk about, like I mentioned, they haven't been great this year, but they're still only 2 points outside of the playoffs right now. So
Everyone's 2 points outside of the playoffs.
exactly.
So
So I'm not too concerned about it. Like I do feel like Montreal will pick it up, but they definitely need to be better than they have been. Let's shift over to the West now. We talked about this last week as well, but things just seem to be getting more intense. Talking about Quinn Hughes and the trade rumors, there's lots of teams that have been reportedly interested in him. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess like the sentiment that I'm getting around the media specifically is that although a Hughes trade isn't necessarily imminent, there's like a 99% chance that this is going to happen.
and the 1% is the Aquilinis stepping in and saying no.
Exactly. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, what do you make of the trade talk? And like we've talked about it, but what do you think a team would have to package together with the amount of teams that are involved now um, to be able to get
it's
them?
going to be a couple. If it's this year, it's going to be Hall because he'll have a year and a half left at the trade deadline. It's going to be two top end prospects and a first round pick at least. I think that's the starting point, and then teams are gonna the bidding war will start, and the price will raise, obviously.
Mhm.
But that's where you're starting, and the Canucks aren't going to say yes to that, obviously, because this is going to be a huge conversation that's going to be ongoing until the trade deadline. But you start there, and then you add maybe an NHL guy, some late, like a second, third round pick, or a second, first round pick. That could definitely happen as well with how good Quinn Hughes is, because you will be trading for a number one defender.
Oh yeah, you're trading for a top two defenseman in the NHL.
Yeah,
So it's not going to come cheap. I look at it and I go, okay, the Canucks, there's been this language that they want to stay competitive. Whatever that means, they're 32nd in the league. There's no competitiveness in the building, in their locker room right now. There's not. But
dude, the trade rumors have gone into the locker room. That locker room is dead.
oh,
There is
100%.
no positivity there. Let's be honest.
Well, and I was watching a show earlier today, and they called tonight's Canucks game against the Buffalo Sabres the toilet bowl,
Toilet bowl. Let's
which
go.
it is.
Or whenever they play the Flames next.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I think of it like this: the Canucks want a piece that can jump into their lineup right now, but they want to get younger. So I look at a player like similar to Ryan Leonard. The Washington Capitals have been interested. Maybe he's untouchable for the Capitals, and that would be fair enough. But they want a guy who's young and already solidified as a top six forward. They also would probably want another good prospect, and then however the picks work out from there. But yeah, I think if you're trading for Quinn Hughes, you're giving up some pretty substantial pieces, but that dwindles it down a bit for the teams that could acquire him to me, because if you're acquiring Quinn Hughes, you also don't want to take away from the rest of your roster because you want to be a competitive cup contender.
I wonder, you mentioned Ryan Leonard and the Capitals. I wonder if Cole Hudson's going the other way in a potential trade.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a defender right there too.
Mhm.
Like, you're obviously, no matter what Cole Hudson is, you're improving bringing in Quinn Hughes.
Well, and Hudson is a similar style to Quinn Hughes as well, right?
Yeah.
So eventually that could be your Quinn Hughes replacement, although I don't necessarily believe he's going to be on nearly on that level, but
Yeah.
he can be that offensive left shot defenseman.
If he's anything like his brother, you're in good hands.
Yeah, exactly. And from what I've seen, like at the World Juniors last year, I think he might have led the tournament in points. He was
So that's where he
unbelievable.
made a name for himself. That's where he broke out as a top prospect.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, he was trending up, and then the World Juniors happened, and people were like, oh, damn, this Hudson kid's good.
Yeah, which no surprise. Like, come on. You
Yeah.
saw what Lane did, and then this guy's basically the same player.
I still went, nah, he's a little small.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah.
I was basically what I was thinking if the Capitals were to do it, which who knows if they actually would, but I was thinking Ryan Leonard, Cole Hudson, and then maybe one or two first round picks.
Yeah, and those are two high-end prospects.
Mhm.
Like, you expect, like you said, Ryan Leonard is a top six forward. He's slotted into the Capitals lineup to begin the year, hurt now. And then Cole Hudson projects to be a top pairing D-man.
Do you think he projects to be a top pairing D man?
In the Canucks system, yes.
Yeah, fair enough in the Canuck system, but I mean, because from what I've heard, like I've watched him play and he looked excellent, but from what I understand, he's not necessarily on that same level as Lane.
Mhm.
Similar to Luke Hughes and Quinn Hughes, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I could pencil him in as a future number one.
Okay.
I think with Philip Hronik being on the Canucks still, maybe that would be a good pairing. And so, yeah, he could be a top pair defenseman, but I'm not sure I necessarily believe that Cole Hudson's going to be a legit top pairing guy.
Fair enough. But yeah, even then, that's still, let's say his floor is a second pairing then. or like a second line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's still a good piece, assuming Ryan Leonard's also going the other way.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and then whatever they decide to do with the draft picks, probably trade them for another defender.
Probably they'll flip them. I almost can
That's how
guarantee
they stay
that they will
competitive.
flip them. Yeah. Oh yeah. They've done that. Well, I wanted to get into this. So
I sent you going, didn't I? The
so
ball started rolling.
when did they trade Bo Horvat? What year was that? Was that 4 years ago now?
4 years, because they flipped that for Hronek right away.
Yeah.
That was the year before they were good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So 4 years ago, you traded Bo. Last year, you traded JT. And then this year, you might potentially be trading Quinn Hughes. In the last 4 years, you could be potentially trading two legit number one centermen and one of the best defensemen in the National Hockey League, the best player in your franchise's history. All three of those guys in the last 4 years. And what do you have to show for it? You have Filip Hronek, Atu Ratu from the Bo Horvat deal.
Yeah.
Because they flipped that first for Hronek. Then for JT Miller, you've got Philip Hedl, who knows when he's going to be able to play again. Drew O'Connor and Marcus Pettersson and Victor Mancini, which Mancini's looked like a good defensive prospect, but there's still a lot of work
Pettersson
there.
was the first that they flipped.
Yeah, and so is O'Connor.
Yeah.
And then who knows what you're going to get for Hughes. But I look at like those three names and what you have to show for them. Or I guess just those two names. Let's just focus on the two that they actually have traded. Those two names.
Relax. He's still a Canuck for now.
Those two names and what you have to show for them, it really makes me concerned for what they're going to have to show for Quinn Hughes after all is said and done. And if they flip those picks, like, are they going to bring in pieces like Marcus Pettersson, Drew O'Connor? Filip Hronek has worked out and he's an excellent defenseman, but the other two guys just aren't pieces that I want to be giving up a first round pick for if I'm the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah, that it's weird though. Just whatever the Canucks organization decides to do, it's always short term.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's to stay competitive, and yeah, Hronek really helped them stay competitive the next year. He was an amazing partner alongside Quinn Hughes, earned himself that big contract. But at what point do you actually sit back and look at what you've done and go, we can't be competitive for the next couple of years? There's just no path for it.
Oh, for sure. It's all shortcuts. All they've been doing is taking shortcuts. Like you say, it's so like it's building for the short term. You don't have a good prospect pool. Like your top prospect is Braden Coots, Tom Willander. Like they're good pieces, but after that, it's Jonathan Lekkerimäki, and then it falls off a cliff.
Yeah, and Lekkerimäki still needs to prove himself at the NHL level.
Yeah, like it falls off a cliff. You don't have like Lekkerimäki. I don't really consider that young anymore. He's still young, but he's getting to the point where he's got to figure it out soon.
Yeah,
or else he's just not gonna make it. Obviously, Coots is only 18 years old, and we'll talk about him a little bit when we talk about the World Juniors. And Willander has looked good in the NHL so far, but your prospect pool is not deep, and you've given up two franchise cornerstone pieces in the last 4 years. Like, to me, giving up those two pieces and then giving up Quinn Hughes, that is rebuilding. You are a team, like, if you told me that the Pittsburgh Penguins had traded at one point Chris Letang, Sidney Crosby, and Evgeny Malkin, they're a rebuilding team. Obviously, these three players aren't on that same caliber, but the Vancouver Canucks have not rebuilt since those trades. They've just tried to stay in a playoff spot, and they haven't been able to do that. They're dead last in the league right now.
They're competitive.
So competitive.
Competitive in the tank bowl.
Yeah, competitive in the race for Gavin McKenna or Ivor Stenberg.
The race to the bottom.
But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because I just find it ridiculous. But we've spent a lot of time on our weekly updates, so let's get into our team of the week. Um, I'll kick things off with mine. I've got the Detroit Red Wings, another team interested in Quinn Hughes, but they since we last recorded 3-1. They lost in a shootout to the Blue Jackets, and then they beat the Kraken, the Canucks, and the Calgary Flames. Obviously, those aren't super impressive
Yeah.
wins, but I mean, they've managed to score 4 goals in their last 3, 5 goals in their shootout loss to the Blue Jackets. Their offense has been clicking pretty good, and it's been coming from not necessarily their stars as well. They've had some of their depth scoring get in on some of those goals, which is huge. And yeah, I've just liked what I've seen from the Detroit Red Wings, and especially that shutout over the Vancouver Canucks with John Gibson in net. I was able to watch that game, and the Canucks had a lot of grade A chances, and Gibson
Yeah.
just shut the door. So yeah, it's been an impressive week from the Detroit Red Wings. Wed Wings.
Wed Wings. The Wed Wings. Emmett Finney's been a great story for them too.
Mhm.
Like 7th round pick, and he's been productive at the NHL level. I guess the Yzer plan works when everyone else sucks. But yeah, it's a great stretch for them. Winning games that they need to win, that's been their struggle the last couple of years, why they've never really broke out into a playoff position. We'll see if they can just continue to build off it, because that's just been Detroit's problem the past couple of years. Streaky hockey, and that's how you stay out of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like with the East being so wide open as we've talked about, they're at the top of the Atlantic Division now. Obviously, they have a game in hand on a few teams, but yeah, it's been a good season so far for the Red Wings, considering the rest how the rest of the East is has been
The
doing.
rest of the league,
Yeah,
not named Colorado and Dallas, the
yeah,
rest of the league. Like,
yeah. I think that's a fair assessment.
yeah. Over in the West, I've got the Dallas Stars, one of two competent teams in the NHL right now. They're right behind Colorado, but Colorado's getting all the talk right now. Take away the overtime losses, they've got one more loss than the Avalanche, and they're currently on a 4-game win streak. Still one of the deepest offenses in the league. Rantanen, Robertson, Johnston. 4-game win streak. 3-0 over the Devils, 4-1 over the Sharks, 3-2 and 4-3 over the Penguins and Jets. Not bad teams, other than the Sharks.
Mm-hmm.
And you're winning close games. You always love to see that your team can win a close game. And they're just staying right behind Colorado.
Yeah, yeah, and that's impressive in itself, right? Like
Yeah,
Colorado has 2 regulation losses this year, and the Dallas Stars are 2 points behind them. Like that's pretty incredible. They have the same amount of wins.
yeah.
The Stars have played one more game, but yeah, I mean their last 10, 8-0-2. They haven't lost a regulation game in their last 10. It's been really impressive from the Dallas Stars, and I mean they're them and the Avs are the only 2 teams in the NHL right now with over 40 points.
And they're the only two teams that look legit right now.
Oh yeah.
Like, sure, Anaheim's 19-10-1, but they allow like 5 goals a game.
Yeah.
And Washington's on a hot stretch. They're starting to look legit, but 18-9-3 it's pretty good. The Devils completely fell apart the moment Jack Hughes went down, like they always do.
Mm-hmm.
Just nobody's really solidifying themselves as a consistent NHL team right now. It's weird.
Yeah, no, they're literally the only 2 that are doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is weird. Like I think it must have something to do with the fact that it's in a condensed schedule this year and teams are just struggling, like I said earlier, to stay healthy and things like that. But yeah, it's really impressive that these 2 teams have risen well above everyone else.
Yeah. Literally the only 2 teams.
Yeah. Let's move into our Olympic roster talk. So we've talked about the Olympic roster, we've talked about the goaltending, but I just wanted to talk a little bit more about Bedard and Celebrini to kick things off here, because I think a lot of people kind of thought that Bedard would start to slow down at some point, and that's why he wouldn't make the team. But he's got 42 points, tied for fourth with Mikko Rantanen, tied for fourth in the National Hockey League, only two below Connor McDavid and one below Macklin Celebrini. I guess, like, is it still one or the other? You have to take either Bedard or Celebrini, or do you think they're both just locks to make the team at this point?
They should both be locks. I never really understood the he'll slow down comparison like he's a 35-year-old aging vet.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the youngest players in the league, one of the most talented players in the league, who players were just people were just waiting for him to break out. And the moment he does, they're like, he'll slow down.
Yeah.
No, he's a legit superstar. That's what he was hyped up to be going into his draft year. That's what he's going to be for the Chicago team. Everyone was just so bad while he was learning the game that he didn't look elite, but he is. He should be on that Olympic roster, assuming players go to Milan.
Yeah, I have been on this from the beginning. I think he should be there. Like, I don't know how you could tell a guy who's fourth in the National Hockey League in points. Where is he in goals? Let me.
Tied for third.
Okay, tied for third in goals. I see. This is the thing when I get into the goal argument, it's like, okay, you're saying you can't leave Bedard off because of the goals and the points, but then you can leave Morgan Geekie off. But that's a separate conversation. But I just will say Geekie doesn't have the same point totals and doesn't. I think it's obvious he doesn't have the same skill level and talent that Bedard has. But I don't know how you can tell the guy who's fourth in the league in points that he's not coming to Milan to play in the Olympics.
Yeah, and it's the same thing for Malcolm Celebrini, the guy third in the league in points. You're going to tell him
Yeah.
no just because he's 19?
Yeah, exactly. Like, these guys are 1 and 2 points below Connor McDavid. You're going to tell them that they've produced at the same level as Connor McDavid all season long, but that's not good enough to make the Olympic team? It doesn't make any sense. And even if you don't trust Bedard's defense, I've talked about this. If you don't trust him defensively, that's fine. Leave him as a healthy scratch and bring him in for a few games here and there when you're playing weaker opponents like France. Like, you don't have, just because you bring him to the Olympics doesn't mean you have to play him in the gold medal game 30 minutes against Team USA. That's not what that means.
That's assuming the USA makes the finals.
Yeah, but I'm just using that as like as a analogy. But like, yeah, I don't get that narrative, because he's earned his place. And yeah, if he goes to the Olympics and you just can't trust him defensively, then sit him in the press box. It's not that big of a deal. People will understand that more than leaving him off the team entirely.
Yeah, give him his chance.
Yeah.
Like, he's shown he can do it in the NHL. I don't understand any argument why he can't do it in the Olympics.
Yeah, 100%.
NHL is the best league. The most of the players playing in the Olympics are in the NHL.
Exactly. I want to talk about another young player here, Matthew Schaefer. Has he made his case to be on the Olympic team?
I mean, yeah, he's definitely making a case. Who are you saying? Do you think he should be?
Yeah, I'm asking, do you think he should be? Because before you answer, he's got 22 points in 31 games. He's the number one defenseman on the New York Islanders, playing close to 24 minutes a night. Like, I don't know how you leave that guy off the team as well, just because he's 18.
I don't either. It would literally just be an age thing.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, third in points on the Islanders roster, obviously the highest scoring defender for them. Good defensively on a Islanders team.
Yeah. Like that's the thing. They don't have a great decor or anything, and he's like legitimately saving them in some games.
Yeah.
And he jumps off the page when you watch them too. Like it's not just a case of, oh, this guy's picking up secondary assists because he's feeding some sick players up ahead in the lineup. You can argue he's the best player on that team, maybe Bo Horvat, but you can argue that Schaefer's already better than Bo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of Bo, like I was going to ask you, do you think Bo Horvat has earned a spot on the team?
Yeah, he's starting to make a fight for it too.
Yeah.
It's that same conversation with Geeky. It's the goals.
Well, and Bo adds something defensively as well. Like
He does,
he's a good centerman. He's a great face-off guy. He adds something defensively, not necessarily like a premier PK guy, but he's capable of it. He's capable of being a penalty killer, and I think that needs to be taken into consideration as well. Like when you look at these international teams, and every team is going to have an elite scorer. Every single team. Germany has one in
Czechia
Leon
has
Draisaitl. Czechia has one in David Pastrnak. Like every single team has one of these guys, but the teams that go on to win, yes, they play good defensively, but they have scoring throughout their lineup because every team also has some shutdown defensemen as well that can match up. So if you're playing against Team Sweden and you've got Victor Hedman shutting down Connor McDavid, well, good thing Bo Horvat's on the fourth line playing against their third pairing because he can light them up, right?
Yeah. It's like, a lot of good questions.
Yeah, I mean,
Canada would be asking.
I'd rather take him over a guy like Anthony Cirelli, Horvat over Anthony Cirelli.
Yeah, these are great problems to have. It just shows how deep the talent is right now, the top end talent too, because Bo Horvat's having an amazing year. This isn't like, oh, well, should it be Horvat because we don't have anyone else? No, it's should it be Horvat because he's been great.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then just last one, Tom Wilson's a guy that has been talked about a lot, and there's concern with just the way he plays not being a fit in international hockey, with which I agree with. But he's got 32 points in 30 games. He's leading the Capitals in scoring this season. I mean, it makes me nervous because I can guarantee you that he'll get a 5-minute major in one of these games if he's there. But do you think he'll be there?
I think they'll take him because we saw the Four Nation face-off last year. The moment USA Canada started playing, you need a guy like Tom Wilson, Sam Bennett, the big guys who can go out there and fight and bruise and rough people up, play great hockey along the boards physically. And beyond that, he's also become a great scorer the past 2 years somehow. I think he should be on the team, a fourth line guy that's out there against. He's not going to. Here's the thing: I don't think he's going to take a 5-minute major against France, but he might take one against. That would be so stupid. I mean, you can live with it because there's no way that's the difference maker in the France game. But you need him for assuming you play the USA at some point. You need him.
It just makes me so nervous because I know he's going to light up Austin Matthews or something from behind and get a 5-minute major in the gold medal game. Tie game, 6 minutes to go. He just buries Matthews from behind, and all of a sudden we're on the PK.
But Matthew Tkachuk's also going to do the same thing.
Yeah, maybe.
They're just going to trade him off. He's going to do that. Matthew Tkachuk's going to go out there his next shift, just elbow someone in the head.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. So,
it's just going to go both ways. They're like, all right, well, USA's got this one. And then Matthew Tkachuk, you just see the arm raise as someone's laying in the middle of the ice.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I think he's earned a spot on the team. It just, I don't get excited about it because I'm worried about the penalties that he'll take.
No, that's completely fair. I just think they're going to want these guys because the USA has those guys too.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, let's cap things off here, let's talk about the Canadian World Junior roster. So they have announced their, I guess it's their training camp roster, whatever you want to call it, ahead of the tournament. They did things a little bit,
Preliminary roster. Is that
yeah,
what it's called?
yeah, something like that. But they did things a little bit different this year. Usually they would bring in a lot of guys and make a lot of cuts, but I actually like what they've done this year. They brought in 15 forwards, 9 defensemen, and 3 goalies. And basically, in the press conference that they held, they said that there'll be one cut from each position group. So one forward, one defenseman, and one goalie will be cut from the team leading up to the tournament. Assuming this is also assuming that none of the NHL players that are eligible come down. If obviously if a guy like Sam Dickinson comes down from San Jose, then they'll have to make another cut
Yeah,
on the defensive group.
it changes things.
But for the most part, as of right now, they're thinking one cut from each position group. So I mean, I did my little prediction and I got a lot of the guys. I actually didn't expect Misa at the time when I did the prediction. I didn't expect Misa to be eligible to play. I thought that San Jose might want to hold on to him, but I'm glad to see that he's here. And then obviously you got the returning guys, Gavin McKenna, Porter Martone, Jet Luchenko, Colt Baudouin, and then your 2 goalies in Carter George and Jack Ivankovic. But yeah, I mean, you look at this roster, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 guys with legitimate NHL experience already on the preliminary roster. And then the possibility for a guy like Sam Dickinson, as I mentioned, Ben Kindell, Berkeley Kattner is another name. Like you could potentially have 8 players with NHL experience on this World Junior roster. But I look at it and I don't think there were really many snubs. Like last year, there were several names that we could go talk about as
Yeah, it was
huge
a
snubs.
big conversation last year.
Yeah, like Zane Parekh. Michael Misa last year was a huge snub. He was
Yeah,
lighting up the OHL and didn't make the team. But this year, like I have in my notes, possible snubs. I didn't write notable snubs because there's no one notable, but Justin Carbonneau and Sacha Boisvert, those are the only 2 guys that I could come up with that, oh, maybe they had a case to be on this team.
yeah. I think we've talked about this before, but it looks like whoever's running the roster is starting to learn from their mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a reason the last 2 years they were quarterfinal exits, and it's because they didn't take the best players, and everyone knew that right away.
Yeah. Yeah. They tried to build like a true shutdown line. And like we just talked about with the Olympics, you want your depth scoring at these tournaments. Like you want guys that can provide offense.
You want the best players. You don't sit your best player in the playoffs because he doesn't play defense. You play him because he scored 40 goals in the regular season.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. At the end of the day, you need to score goals too.
Well,
Get your
and
depth scores.
I look at this team, like you do still have guys that play a good 2-way game. Braden Coots is one of them. Jet Luchenko, Sam O'Reilly, Cole Baudouin, TJ Ginla. Like you've got lots of guys in your forward group that play good defensive hockey. I just don't understand why they were so worried about that, because you look at how they brought the best players this year and you still have those guys that can kill penalties and be like shutdown line. Some trio of those, that group can be a shutdown line. And yeah, like you've still got a seriously good hockey team.
Let's just hope they don't make any mistakes with cutting here.
Yeah, and I was just going to touch on that quickly. Like looking at the names on this team. So I look at the forward group and they're obviously like there's a ton of guys that are locks, but I think that the forward to be cut is someone between Carter Bear, Cole Reshny, and Sam O'Reilly. I lean more towards Carter Bear. I think that Reshny and O'Reilly, like I talk about not necessarily bringing defensive players, but O'Reilly is an excellent defensive right shot center. So even if he's going to be one of your extra forwards, like I think that he's a guy that you should bring. He's got a lot of experience. He plays for the London Knights with head coach Dale Hunter of the Canadian team. I think there's just a good familiarity there. So I think he should make the team. And then Cole Reshney has the NCAA experience over Carter Bear, who's currently playing for the Everett Silvertips. So if it were me making the cut, I would probably let go of Carter Bear. And then on defense, it's between Carson Carrolls and Ethan McKenzie for me. I think Ethan McKenzie might be the only undrafted player on this preliminary roster. Let me fact check that real quick. But yeah, he's a 19-year-old. Yeah, never been drafted. I don't know if he's the only one, but pretty sure that's the case. So pretty incredible for him to have made the preliminary roster, but I just don't know if I see a place for him. And when I say undrafted, I mean undrafted in the sense that they've already been draft eligible. Yeah. Obviously, Gavin McKenna and Carson Carrolls are undrafted as well, but they're both expected to be top 10 picks in this coming draft. And then
McKenna goes undrafted.
Yeah. And then where does he go? Europe? But then your goaltending, you've got two returners. I think it just makes sense to bring them both. But Joshua Ravensbergen is a very good goalie. He's one of the best goaltending prospects in the National Hockey League right now. Like, it's kind of hard to leave him off this team, but with Ivan Kovic and George having the World Junior experience already, I think you bring them both. So that's kind of where I see things shaping out. Obviously, you'd love to get some of those other NHLers, which again, then it changes the discussion a little bit, as you mentioned. But yeah, I have a lot of hope for this World Junior team this year. I think they look like an excellent group.
Yeah, I've got lots of hope too. You can't go 3 years without at least a semifinal appearance. That's not Canada hockey. That's not what we do here. Yeah.
I'd say you can't leave this tournament without a medal. Gold or silver.
Make the finals. They should make the finals.
Well, they should win gold, but...
Okay, they were quarterfinal exits the last 2 years.
Yeah, but still, like this...
a little bit here.
No, you look at this team compared to the other teams, they 100% are the favorites.
I'm saying the team, I'm saying management.
Yeah, but it's like you said, it seems like they've learned from their mistakes. They've brought the right guys this year.
Yeah, I let's hope so.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you wanted to get up or talk about before we wrap things up?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Well, we can.
Being played.
Yeah. We'll catch some of the games going on right now, but yeah, we'll end things off there. Thank you for listening to In the Slot. I'm your host, Jacob Fraser, with my co-host, Keanen Tregaskis. And be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Check out some of our other shows, and we'll see you next time. Oh, go ahead.
I did.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'll give a shout out to that. So Keanen had a good interview with his brother. Is it Desmond?
Desmond.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember which brother it was.
It's in the thumbnail too.
But yeah, great interview with Desmond. Just committed to Sac State baseball. So that's awesome. Congratulations to him. So be sure to check that out. You can watch that interview and the full show on our YouTube channel at Horizon Media. So be sure to check that out along with some of our other shows. And thank you for listening.
We'll see you next week.